For 3 minutes. Without objection.
Thank you so much for yielding me time. I think we're getting closer to the truth when the previous speaker spoke out as to why we have an inheritance tax in the first place. And while he talked about World War I think he was emphasizing what he called was closer to a socialistic type of government where redistribution of the wealth was the issue rather than the actual resources that are raised. And I'm convinced that a large number of people, especially the Republicans in this House, look at this not as a revenue issue, but as a policy issue. Oh, yes, you call it the death tax, because I think this is a way of packaging something saying that death should not be a taxable event. But realistically, if you're dead, you certainly are relieved of your taxes. So it's alive people that you're talking about. People who have hopes and dreams that they would be able to acquire the inheritances of those that preceded them. And so the real reason, perhaps, of having this tax was to make certain we had a middle class, that you did not find the super wealthy being able to influence the politicians and the Congress. And if that was the reason, and I'll have to research it, even though some experts thought there was a social policy reason, if ever there was a time to review this policy, it would be now, because the Joint Economic Committee, which is not Republican or Democrats, has indicated that under existing law, when the estate tax goes to $3.5 million estate that would be exempt for a single, and $7 million estate that would be exempt, they say that we would be talking about only 7,500 actual estates. Now, if this does cost $800 billion, or close to $1 trillion, then what we are arguing about is whether or not 7,500 people could cause us to go into the deficit further by having their benefits restored. In other words, what we're saying is here is that while the nation is at war, while we spend $400 billion, while we have a $9 trillion debt, while we're cutting even the services of veterans and those that are fighting, that philosophically the majority believes that we should shatter the so-called estate tax, inheritance tax, and death tax, no matter what the economic expense is. So we're not doing this for this Congress or this election. We're doing it to change the direction of the United States government so that the items of resources to pay for education and health care and even our national defense is going to be jeopardized because some of you believe that the richest of the rich should be protected from an equitable distribution of tax liability.
Washington.
Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to yield 3 minutes to my colleague on the Rules Committee, the gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Gingrey.